It's a Friday night. Inside a small apartment in the heart of New York or London, your phone lights up. A Hangout invitation text from your friend group. You stare at the screen for 5 seconds, then type a familiar line. I probably can't make it tonight. I'm a bit tired. Have fun, everyone. The moment you hit send, you breathe a sigh of relief, as if a heavy burden has been lifted. You take off your outdoor clothes, put on your most comfortable pajamas, curl up on your familiar sofa, pour yourself a glass of wine and turn on Netflix. The feeling at that moment is so free, so safe. You think to yourself, I was truly born to be alone. But then, the clock strikes 2 a.m. You scroll through Instagram and see their stories clinking glasses, laughing and having fun without you. Suddenly, a cold, empty wave crashes over you, squeezing your chest. The freedom from earlier suddenly turns into an invisible prison. You stare blankly at the ceiling and ask yourself, why do I feel this way? Welcome back to Psychology Inside. Today, we will uncover one of the most cruel and painful psychological paradoxes of humans. The truth about people who crave to be alone, but deep down are terrified of loneliness. The harsh truth is, you built a solid fortress wall with your own hands to lock everyone out, but now, you are sitting there crying in the dark because no one is willing to break down the wall to enter. Why is your brain so contradictory that it self-sabotages like this? First, let's talk about the hedgehog's dilemma. In the 19th century, the great philosopher Arthur Schopenhauer introduced a classic metaphor. Imagine you are a hedgehog on a freezing winter night. To survive, the hedgehogs must huddle together to share warmth. But we are hedgehogs. We have quills. When getting too close, the sharp quills of one will pierce the flesh of another, causing both to bleed. Unable to bear the pain, they separate. But when separated, they are tortured by the bone-chilling winter cold. They crave warmth again, move closer, get pierced and bleed, and then run away again. That is exactly your psychological loop. You crave connection, crave human warmth, but past experiences have taught you that getting close to people means conflict, judgment, arguments, and getting hurt. So you choose to step back, choose solitude to protect yourself from the quills. But that safety comes at a very high price, the coldness of having no one by your side. You are stuck in the middle, not brave enough to move forward, nor heartless enough to truly leave. This leads us to the second truth. Your hyper-independence is actually a shell for trauma. Western culture and today's fast-paced life always glorify the lone wolf. We are taught to be independent, self-reliant, and never depend on anyone. You always proudly tell yourself, I can do everything myself. I'm fine being alone. But in psychology, this is called hyper-independence, and it is a classic trauma response of the fearful avoidant attachment style. Actually, the fact that you don't need anyone is not a type of strength. It is a shield. Maybe from childhood, or after a terrible breakup, you learned a harsh lesson: relying on others equals disappointment. When you needed them the most, they weren't there. So, your subconscious set up an absolute defense system. If I don't need anyone, no one can ever hurt me again. You use the label, I like being alone, to camouflage a deep fear, the fear of betrayal. You push everyone away first, so they don't get the chance to be the one who abandons you. And that is why you suffer from the safe observer syndrome. Try to recall. Have you ever felt incredibly bored when home alone, but instead of asking friends to hang out, you take your laptop to the most crowded Starbucks in the city? You pick a hidden corner, put on your noise-canceling headphones, drink your coffee, and work for hours amidst dozens of strangers. Why do you do that? Because you don't hate people. On the contrary, you crave their presence. You crave the hum of conversations, the clinking of glasses, the feeling of life around you. But you are terrified of the pressure of direct interaction. You are afraid of maintaining a conversation, afraid of meeting the expectations of the person across from you. So you choose to be a safe observer. You want to be in this world, crave to belong to it, but you only dare to sit in the audience stands to watch, never daring to step down onto the stage to truly participate in the play. But now, we must face the darkest part. a cruel psychological test you are playing on yourself. The test of invisibility. Let's be honest. How many times have you deliberately turned off your active status on Messenger? How many times have you locked social media accounts, withdrawn, disappeared completely from group chats, or deliberately ignored messages checking in on you? You tell yourself that you need quiet space, but deep down in the dark zone of your mind, it's an unconscious test. You are throwing a test at the world. If I suddenly disappear, will anyone in this world notice and come looking for me? Your biggest, most painful craving isn't to be left alone. Your biggest craving is for someone patient enough, loving enough to see right through that cold, rough exterior. Someone who doesn't walk away when you say, "Leave me alone." Someone willing to knock on the door and say, "I know you're scared, and I won't let you be alone." But what is the biggest tragedy of this test? It's that the adult world is very busy. When you close your door, they will think you truly need space, and they will respect that by leaving. And as days pass by, not a single message, not a single call, the pain of loneliness explodes within you. Their silence becomes a verdict confirming the biggest fear in your life. Turns out, I'm truly not important to anyone. Turns out if I disappeared, no one would care. Dear friend, if you see yourself in these words, I want you to know, you are not alone in this struggle. Your fear of getting hurt is completely valid, but you cannot crave love and warm connection if your hands are constantly gripping tightly onto a shield and a spear. The armor you wear to protect yourself from arrows is now the very thing suffocating your breath. It's time for you to bravely crack open the door of that bunker. Just a little bit. Hit the subscribe button for Psychology Inside if you found empathy here. We will dismantle these layers of armor together. And in the next video, we will dive deep into the key of fate. The fearful, avoidant attachment style. Why do you always tend to love passionately at first, but suddenly turn cold and run away when the relationship gets deep? How to self-heal this trauma? Click on the video on the screen. The truth awaits you there.